Hi guys, welcome back to the Tech Chat. Now, if you've ever wanted to watch videos, movies and play games through a pair of headphones while looking a bit like Geordi from Star Trek in the Tron universe, that is a very specific and odd dream to have, but if you had it, this is what you want. It's not perfect, as I'll go into, but it is still a pretty unique and pretty interesting product. Basically, you've got screens in here, dual HD screens, built-in headphones, and it just sits on your head and you can plug it into pretty much any device you can find that supports HDMI or through an adapter. So you can plug it into your PlayStation, your Xbox, your PC, your laptop, your phone, whatever it may be, and then you can watch content, you can watch 3D movies, you can watch YouTube videos, you can play games. I've played Uncharted 4 on this, I've watched a couple of movies on this, and it's an all-in-one media device essentially. But with a hefty price tag of around £480 or $500, they're not cheap. So are they any good, and should you buy it? Inside there are two dual 720p displays which give you a 55-degree field of view. So it's not fully immersive VR like the Netflix app on the Samsung Gear VR if you've used one of those. Instead you just have a huge screen in front of you, but you can still see above, below, to the sides. It's just black there. So it's like having a dark and private movie theater experience. It also supports 2D and 3D content, which is pretty cool, although I'm not really sure how many people bother with 3D anymore, but if you're into it, that's pretty cool. More interestingly though, I think you can actually use the Vuzix iWear video headphones for VR gaming, which makes use of the inbuilt accelerometer, magnetic sensor and accelerometer. Now, as for sound, the over-ear headphones use 14mm drivers and have a frequency response of 5 to 25,000 Hz. And thanks to two noise-cancelling microphones built in, these are actually very good at keeping out the outside noise and letting you enjoy whatever it is you're watching or playing. But how long do they last if they're not plugged in or charging? Well, the 550 mAh built-in rechargeable battery through the USB port lasts just over 2 hours in my experience for playing games and watching movies, which isn't quite long enough, I don't think. So you will probably need to plug it in or have it charging while you're using it if you are watching more than a 2-hour movie or playing, having a long marathon of gaming. So that's all the specs and the features out of the way, but how well does it actually work? Well, first of all, it's surprisingly easy to set up. There's just a single cable that comes out of the headset, which goes into this splitter, as you can see. Out of that, you get a full-size HDMI and USB connector. You also have the port here to plug the power in. That's how you charge it. So it's pretty simple. It looks quite complicated out of the box, but actually it's quite well packaged, and there are several guides and manuals inside to help you through it. But once you have it charged up, all you need to do is plug this HDMI connector into your media device or phone via HDMI to MHL if it's Android, or Lightning with iPhones. So let's start with the good parts about the Vuzix. The sound is fantastic. I played an hour or so of Uncharted 4 on the PS4 and it's got really punchy and loud sound. Guns, grenades, everything sounded fantastic. And with that big screen effect you get with these video phones, it felt like I was genuinely playing it in a movie theater. I was really impressed by the sound. Now, while the sound is very good, I did feel the bass was just a little too strong, so it's definitely not a great option for music or if you really want natural and accurate sound. But for movies and for games, which is pretty much exactly what you'll be using this for, it's ideal. Now, one thing to mention about the sound, and it could just be this model that I have, but when there is nothing playing, when there's no sound coming out of it, I can hear a dull sort of hum constantly through both headphones, which is a little bit irritating, but it is completely hidden when there is any sort of sound or music playing, which is good, but it just takes away from that premium feeling a bit when you've just got this constant going on in the headphones when there's no sound playing, which is a bit of a shame, but it could just be unique to this model. So the sound's pretty good, but what about the video aspect of these video phones? Well, on the one hand, it's actually really cool when you first put them on, when you line them up correctly over your eyes and see your game, your movie, your video, or your desktop background from your computer for the first time. I was pleasantly surprised actually by the lack of any screen door effect as well on the displays that you get with VR headsets like the Gear VR, HTC Vive, and Oculus Rift. Now, the screen quality itself is reasonably good. It's bright, surprisingly, and not at all blurry as well, and the colours are actually very vibrant. But there is quite a strong blue tint to the image though, regardless of what input I was using, which made colours look a little cooler, a little washed out, and generally a bit unnatural. It's not a deal breaker, and overall it's pretty good, the screen quality and the display and the colours and the vibrancy, but the colour temperature is noticeably cool. I also noticed the screen flickered sometimes depending on what input I was using. I didn't experience it when I was playing games on my PS4, but I did when I plugged it into my PC. It was an intermittent issue and possibly an issue, again, unique to this device, but it was still a bit annoying. Now, speaking of the display, one of the main problems I have with these Vuzix iWear headphones is with the design and the overall comfort of the video phones. You have to position them very carefully over your eyes to see the full screen. If it's slightly too high or slightly too low, you'll be cutting off the top and the bottom of the screen. So there's a very, very narrow window for viewing the screens fully. And one of my biggest gripes with the headset is it's just not very comfortable to wear. I admit I do have quite a big head, and it is, you can extend these side headphones a little bit, as you can see. That goes for both sides, and you have this strap along your head to make it comfortable, but I still find it quite tight. If I put it on now, it goes down fairly easily. It's pushing against my nose already, so I have to push this up a bit. This comes down. It rests on my nose quite a lot. I can feel it. It's not lined up quite right. I have to. It's such a narrow, correct field of view for getting the full screen. So generally, it's just a bit uncomfortable, which is a massive shame, because this is the sort of thing you're gonna want to sort of have on your face for an hour or 2 hours, watching a movie, playing a game, you know, on a long haul flight. And if the comfort isn't there, then it's kind of a deal breaker, actually. So overall, despite the punchy sound and the huge movie theater display, there's just a few too many niggling issues, and I simply don't think it's comfortable enough to use for long periods of time, in my experience at least. If you are interested in buying or finding out more about these Vuzix iWear video headphones, you can find links in the description below. They are definitely cool, and credit, as I say, to Vuzix for creating such a unique and interesting product, but I'm just not completely sold on them. But let me know what you think of these in the comments below. Would you buy a pair? Would you be happy to wear these on a plane or a bus or something? Do let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please do like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy my videos, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.